Hey everyone, so I want to make a quick video. I'd watched the latest market movers video that Teapot did, and before I get into it, I just want to say I think I subscribe to Market Movers, paid tier. I think it's a great app. I think Teapot and Jeff, I think they make great content. It's entertaining. I think it's thought provoking and starts very important conversations in the hobby. On this particular video, I just felt like they really missed the mark, and sort of you know posting the video. I think you could kind of imagine that it would create quite a bit of buzz of just, oh, PSA is a scam. Oh, they just crossover surf is a scam. They're just looking at the slabs and saying, no, we're not going to cross it over. And I really think uh, this video in particular would have been much more informative had they really looked at the cards within the slabs and kind of evaluated it and judged them themselves and kind of compared, like, would this get a PSA 10? Should it get a PSA 10? They have a TCG specialist on their team. I think having him join this video would have been informative. So we're just going to kind of dive in, look at the grades, maybe why they didn't cross, and see that it's not particularly shocking, in my opinion. So two cards didn't have certs or couldn't look up the certs. The Houndoom, as shown in the video, was crossed over. The Typhlosion, I'm guessing perhaps will be in a future video. Maybe they cracked and submitted, so we'll see how those go. But as we get into the actual cards, and I'll kind of just run through them quickly. This was an Ivysaur CGC Gem 10, did not cross. And as you look, I mean, especially in the back, like those bottom two corners will just never get a min grade of 10 Gem Mint. They're just not uh, likely, right? The Bulbasaur, another CGC Gem Mint 10. As you look at the top corner, like those type of cornerware is just generally going to be a 9. For this Blastoise, this was a 10 with a min grade of 10. Looks off center, in my opinion, top, bottom, and left, right to some extent. Then obviously the bottom right corner looks a bit suspect. The Bill, again, 10, wanted a PSA 10. Just absolutely not when you look at the multitude of edge wear on the left side, the corner wear. That's not a PSA 10. It just will not cross. If you look at the Metagross, this one, again, CGC 10, wanted a min grade of a PSA 10. And again, I think the corner wear is just not going to allow it to be a PSA Gem in 10. The Arcanine, this was allowed for a potentially min grade of 9 for PSA. Again, I think as you look at the back, there's just too much wear all along the corners and edges for that one to be a PSA 9 even. As you look at the super energy removal, this was another one we're allowing to get a 9 at PSA. But if you look at that bottom left corner in particular, I think that's just too significant of wear to allow it to get that. Looking at the Sabrina, similar, back to now wanting a min grade of 10. Again, I think the corner wear is just going to prevent that from happening. The Butterfree, this was another one looking for a min grade of 10. I thought this one was close. Again, it's an older vintage card. You could probably find vintage PSA 9s and 10s that look differently, but again, the corners, the Flareon, I thought this would be a stretch to get a 10. There's kind of some strange bottom right corner on the edge. Looks like there's maybe some whitening or chipping. I don't know what particularly is happening. And on the back side, back bottom right, looks like kind of a poor cut. And again, some potentially some wear of some sort, but I just think that's a stretch to get a 10. The Mew, I think this one was also open to getting a 9. But again, looking at that back, to me, an 8 wear on multiple corners, the way PSA grades, like that's just not going to gem mint or even be mint. And then finally on the Houndoom, I was shocked this was a CGC 8.5. As you can see, looking at the PSA scan, corner whitening in each spot. So just looking at that in multiple corners, I would say, okay, like this is maybe a 9 on a good day, 8 on a bad day. But looking at the actual surface and the hollow, there looks to be scratches present. And scratches are usually hard to see on straight on PSA scans. So to me, it thinks like the probably significant scratching. So I'm saying like a 7.8 seems very reasonable of a grade for PSA's grading standard. So overall, I think showing the cards in a more in-depth fashion, I think would have just been a more useful way of going about this video, and maybe even comparing like why does PSA have a premium in the market? Uh, let's pull some PSA 10 Pokemon cards off the shelf at Cards HQ, some vintage, some modern, PSA 9s, 8s, and put them side by side with those CGC slabs and kind of see like, okay, yeah, this modern, Bulbasaur PSA 10 doesn't have any corner whitening. The CGC Gem and 10 does. Now, should a PSA 10, have the, 2, 3, 4, whatever multiple on a CGC slab? Maybe not. But to me, that would have been a bit more of an informative video and just been more productive. But still, interesting. I'm glad to see that experiment. And thanks for checking out the channel and take care.